Welcome to the Community Spotlight with your host, Akil Patterson, host of the Big 3 Me podcast powered by G Media. Today, we have Raj with us from Mastercard. Raj, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to the NFT and crypto community about something that is so near and dear to my heart, and that is everything in the Web3 world.
Thanks for having me, Akil. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you. So why don't we just start off real quick and you just tell the audience a little bit about your background in the NFT and Web3 space.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in the company for about 11 years, but the last couple of years we've been working on, or at least I've been helping lead a team working on Web3 and crypto related activities. Originally, I'm an engineer and worked on a couple of different cycles of technology evolutions and all the way from open source products to what we have today. Look forward to engaging with the team here and the community.
Right on. Now, I have to ask you, there are a lot of people that always ask questions about why would we, as the Web3 industry and DeFi space, be having MasterCard enter it? Like, what was the purpose for MasterCard to be entering the Web3 and cryptocurrency space and actually the NFT space, because you will start doing, and we'll talk about it after this question, but you've got other partnerships on the horizon of some major Web3 companies. So just talk about why is MasterCard entering this space right now?
Yeah, it's a great question. And if I back up a little bit, MasterCard traditionally has been is always about enabling choice for everyone in the ecosystem, right? Be it consumers, be it merchants, be it financial institutions or fintech players. It is all about enabling the choice, but enabling the choice to spend and your value, move the value the way you see fit, but do so in a safe and secure manner. What does it mean is that you could call ourselves, as we are almost always performing a bit of the curation job, if you will, to make sure that the experiences are safe as well as simple. And we do that in multiple networks. The card network is the most obvious thing that people come to associate our brand with, but we're also in other places. We work on identity, we work on ACH systems, we work on cross-border. All of that, our role always been very simple. Really bring safety and security and simplicity. Now, if you apply this to the Web3 world, look, there is a lot of innovation happening, and I'm sure Akil will talk a little bit about that in a bit. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these innovations coming out at a fast pace, and the crypto natives have taken on to this really well. They really love this because it allows them to engage in a simple way for them because they're all coming from crypto background. But there are billions of other consumers that are looking for a simple way to engage. They love what's coming out of this community. They love NFTs. They love that the art has a new outlet. But how do we bring that in a simple way for the billions to experience is where we come in. And we can unpack this more as we go on, but that's how we see our role. I think we are able to, we can actually help those experiences to be simple. We can, I know you have a big NFT community. We can talk about that in a bit.
I think that's one of the big things that I've noticed is that as we have these platforms and the security levels, everyone worries about security. And when you said IDs, my mind automatically went to decentralized IDs. You guys are working on those too? Or okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting excited now. Okay, let me just bring it back a little bit. Because I know that I've asked for this because I'm more interested in the new partnerships that you have coming up. And so I'm huge in thinking that Web3 needs to be about gamification, because in bear markets or in bull markets, there's one thing that everyone does. They play games. And I'm talking about going back all the way to the 1920s during the Great Recession, when people are playing Monopoly as a way to entertain themselves. So what about these new partnerships that you have? And just to list off a couple, you've got Immutable X, Nifty Gateway, MoonPay. I mean, you guys are really working with a multitude of large, established and trusted Web3 and NFT companies. What's up next with these companies? Like, why the partnerships? Why now?
Yeah, great question again. And I talked about this safety and simplicity a little bit. Like, let's take a consumer, everyday consumer trying to experience buying an NFT. Prior to a lot of these partnerships and what the work that we've collectively done with the industry, getting into buying an NFT is actually a very complex process, right? So you first need to know that you need a wallet, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not a concept that every consumer understands. You got to go get a self-custody wallet, like MetaMask or one of those wallets, and then figure out where this art is listed. Is it in ETH? Is it in Solana? If that means I need to go buy ETH as a currency, how much should I buy? Where should I buy? And okay, now I bought ETH. How do I get my NFT? You have to go to connect to a wallet, and you have to go compare the price. What does it mean from in the fiat perspective or the US dollar perspective, and then complete the purchase. Several clicks, several concepts later, you are in possession of the art that you love.
If you click the right buttons and if you went through the right process. I mean, there have been times where I've been scared just to purchase things because it was so complex. I'm like, I don't know if I should buy this.
That's right. So how do we bring? So now we are okay. We are natives. We can figure this out.
Yeah.
And this is what we use and help build. So that's great. But how do you bring the next billion consumers? So they have to feel safe. They have to feel simple to do. So what these partnerships that you talked about really simply enable is that one-click purchase of the NFT that you like. Right? Simply enter the card number. It's not a revolutionary experience. Every consumer is trained in that, and that's the point. Every consumer out there know how to purchase these. You simply go enter a card or pick a card on file, and boom, you buy your NFT. You also, consumers do have the peace of mind at the end of it that they have the protection, right? So they get the NFT that the website claimed, and if it is not, then you can get your money back. All of those protections come in together. And that is very, very, very compelling. And I do believe this is important is because Web3 community, what we are trying to do is to bring the next billion users who are not crypto natives so that those creators can get even a bigger market to distribute their creations. Be it a game, be it an art, or anything that you want to put in that kind of non-fungible format. You want to expand your market, and that's the best way to do it. And that's why we're in this. It's really, I think, is resonating because when we announced those partnerships, it really took on because everyone sees that this is really about bringing broadening the appeal of this great creation.
So let's just look at Immutable X for 1 second. So Immutable X is a layer 2 solution. So it's not built on, it's built on top of, and for those of you who know cryptocurrencies, you know that layer 2s, it's built on top of the blockchain. It's building off of it. And so their focus over at Immutable has been to do a lot of gamification. So is gamification kind of a hallmark standard of why you guys are getting in the business with them? Because they also have a great partnership with GameStop recently that I saw.
Yeah. So no, look, gamification of all experiences has been part of this evolution even before Web3, right? And in the gaming world, we have a central to play pre-Web3 gaming world, if I can use that term. We have a central role to play. People buy their experiences or the virtual goods using the products that we have. I think we have a similar role that we can play here. Whether people are building directly into the network or layer 2 solutions, end of the day, you want consumers who previously may not have crypto holdings to come and experience this too. I think that's the next click of this. And how do we do that? Behind the scenes, you can still have those tokens powering the games. You can still have crypto native technologies available to power it and distribute it. But I think we can provide the bridge between the Web3 world as the innovation gets built there onto the traditional consumer base so that they can bring their spend power and really experience these great innovations. That's really what this is about.
I love that. And you kind of answered my next question when it comes to what are the everyday consumer, like what do these partnerships mean to the everyday consumer? And that for them truly is about, hey, I'm an everyday person. don't know if I'm going to be in the Web3 space, but if I'm just trying to play my favorite video game, then I feel comfortable using my MasterCard. I can enter my information. I can get the same tokens. I can play with them as I would, rather it was Fortnite or anything else along those lines. So I think for an everyday person like myself, who may or may not be a gamer, they at least know that there's some trustability along the way. So I appreciate you answering that question. But as I talk about trust, I also recognize that at the end of, obviously, this is the end of Pride Month, Juneteenth for people as well, just passed. What about equity in this space? Because there's been a lot of disenfranchisement from people that are coming into this and going, I'm over the system that currently exists and we don't want this new system. But equitability to me is huge. And so what is MasterCard looking at to make sure that the NFT Web3 space for you, for MasterCard, is going to be put on the equal playing field so that all people will have an opportunity to be engaged in this world?
Yeah, and this is a very important topic for all of us. And MasterCard has been focused on inclusion for a long time. We have a MasterCard Center for Inclusive Growth, where we've set up a lot of significant corporate resources to promote inclusion around the world. So it's a topic near and dear to our heart. But when it comes to this space, what we are finding is that there is new ways that we can engage with the customers in this community. Recently, we had a Pride-themed Decentraland presence. And the point of that is really to understand a bit more about how we can engage in a new way with the consumers. But inclusion is about many things, right? So it is also making sure that we are bringing the full breadth of services that we have to startups playing a role in the Web3 community. So we recently set up what we call as a Crypto Start Path program, which is a startup engagement accelerator, where we're really talking to people who are 4 or 5 people in the organization trying to set up a Web3 shop, to larger companies that are trying to innovate in this space. So that's another way that we engage with the community. And then the last example I would give, this one really is fantastic because it is a community-driven thing even within MasterCard. Last week, we launched a Women in Crypto and in communities that are traditionally not included in the crypto space. What we call as Bell Block. It was started by 3 women in our company who are working, including our communication lead, Katie, and a few others, who actually brought 130 women around the New York area, talk about the issues, how we can empower more people to enter the community here through education, through empowerment, really welcoming them and their innovations and diversity of thought and contributions to the dialogue. Personally, I would love to see more people inside MasterCard from the communities so that we have a diverse thought. Web3 community is truly diverse, to your point, Akil, and the people who build solutions need to be as diverse, if not more diverse, to make sure that we are building the right products and services for the community. I think that's central to the success of any team.
I have a friend who was actually telling me he's a data analytics scientist. He is not a developer. He's a data analytics scientist. And he said at one point, the hardest thing about training devs and communicating with devs is that they're biased in their coding. It happens every day. And he goes, and that's really difficult to say, hey guys, your coding's biased because you don't know you're being biased. And that's why the Web3 space is truly looking for more people of different varying backgrounds so that the coding itself does not have that implicit or unintentional bias coming in.
I think you're right. Unconscious bias is a big problem. All of us suffer. That just doesn't mean that you're guilty, just that you may have a blind spot that you need to remove. And exactly. All of us have that. And the best way to do it is to surround yourself people with different points of view, right? And that's central to how we need to build teams. We need to do more. I have a daughter who is going to college and who's getting into a workforce very soon. I would love to see her point of view heard, right? And it's something that's that resonates well for us. I think it's imperative for business success as well. It's not just the right thing to do.
So now with that being said, and you're like, okay, we're gonna start being intentional on what we're making outreach to, but what do you study? I mean, what kind of jobs are going to be open at MasterCard, especially around Web3 and the crypto platforms? Like, what kind of jobs would be available at a company such as MasterCard that young folks or people, maybe old folks who are looking to transition into a new career, what should they be really studying and why? And then what positions over there at MasterCard are open to be filled?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So first of all, we have a lot of open positions in the company, not just in the crypto group. We are continuing to lean into colleges to hire, fresh graduates out of all disciplines, right? So we have jobs in engineering, we have jobs in marketing, we have jobs in communication, product management, and the full range really, DevOps to everything in between. I think it's very hard to say there's one thing that's going to help you get into this. But, if talking about Web3 personally, I think there is a lot of people come to us and say, look, I'm interested in working in Web3. But the first question that I often ask is to say, tell me your journey, tell me your experience of how you've experienced Web3 personally, what you are contributing and what you're getting back. If you're an engineer, you could check in some code in GitHub. If you are a marketer, maybe you have found a different way to present the NFT creations to a different community. So I think we're often asking for your personal story, how you got involved, how you contribute to the community, and how you think this job will help you do that job even better, right? So that's what it is, a personal connection, a personal story, and why you're passionate about this topic. The rest, once you have the passion, the rest all can be figured out. That's at least my personal view on things.
I always like to maintain that I was never very good with my fingers. The fat digits played football, and the brain cells needed to be repaired. And so I never said I could never be a dev, but to know that there were other opportunities in this space that really spoke to a person like me or someone who may not have been given the same opportunities. I know that math and coding, a lot of STEM programs, and as a person who's been very focused on equitability across the country, even in my day jobs, it's really difficult to have folks come in on this at the late level. So when you're building over at MasterCard and you're looking at these Web3 spaces and you're looking at people that are building in blockchain and crypto technologies, are you also helping them encourage those populations that may not be given a chance to do this? Are you offering grants and scholarships so people can go back out there and educate and inform and start building this space with the right type of people? Because I know a lot of the criminals spend all night on their computers looking at stuff, but we need the good guys. And what I mean, good guys and gals and humans, we need those good humans to have the same opportunity and educate themselves. Is that something that MasterCard's doing?
Yeah, I think it's a great point, right? So this is what's essential here is really a base level of education required for people to understand what the space is about, right? We've started the journey internally first. We all have communities internally. MasterCard is a big company, 20,000 plus employees even internally. While we have a crypto native team, we've started educating the rest of the team and our customers. So we've set up a customer training program as well in order to understand not just the ethos of crypto that you talked about at the beginning of the session, but also what are some of the basics and how things work. And I think that is helpful. It is bringing new set of interested parties into this space. I think the space would help outside in perspective as well. People who are very good at doing something else outside the Web3, and now they can come in and contribute their expertise in the Web3 world. But technology, we may have made, as a community, we may have made things very complex for a non-Web3 person to understand. The first thing is to communicate is that you don't have to be a tech engineering expert to add value into the Web3 world. You can be a marketing expert, you can be a communication expert, you could be a very good project manager, can come and help unorganized, right? So that process is underway. We also have a great diverse recruitment program where we go to a diverse set of colleges around the country where we recruit from, not just the top Ivy Leagues. We're going deep into the organization so that we can bring that diverse talent. So that's an ongoing process, not just in crypto, but across the company.
Well, I tell you what, I also serve as the board chair or board of directors for a nonprofit, and I tell you, I help young college students get jobs after they're done, but they're former college athletes, and so self-promotion here. Shout out to HBCU Wrestling and Black Wrestling Association kids that I've done the work with. They're going to be some of the people I'm going to personally refer to you, because again, I know some of these young folks are looking for opportunities, and sometimes it's a scary world when you're like, I just got into the Web3, but I can code or I can do this, and you just feel like I don't know who to talk to or who to ask. I'm so glad that you, as an executive at a major corporation such as Mastercard, are at least saying, hey guys, just send us your resume, because you don't have to do any of this other stuff, because as soon you just need to get a foot in the door, and then maybe you can build from there.
That's right, Akil. And I forgot to mention one thing, which is this, right? We also have a great internship program where we take undergraduate and graduate students during their summer break. They come and spend 6-7 weeks with us, working on a project, learning and contributing. So it builds the confidence in the future workforce that they could join here or elsewhere. That is also a program that we have active. Check us out on our website on that as well.
Well, Raj, thank you so much for joining me today. Is there anything else you would like to say to the community before we go?
No, this is, I know this is a kind of there are a lot of tough time out there because of asset prices going in a different direction than what many people would like. But this is not the time to kind of lose focus. I think it is time to redouble our efforts and build great experiences so that the next click can use it. So this is the time to invest and build, and that's what Mastercard is focused on. We're in this for the long haul.
Well, Raj, thank you very much for joining me here on our Community Spotlight. And for our audience at home, my name is Akil Patterson, host of the Big 3 Me podcast and the Chief Communication Officer here at Gokhshtein Media. You all have a great day and an even better tomorrow.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.